Hello, Eagles. I'm Andrew Harker.
And I'm Tucker Lettinen, and welcome to the award-winning broadcast, the Avion.
Hold up. What do you mean by award-winning?
Well, a few weeks ago, we submitted the Avion's broadcast at the ACP conference, which we talked about a few episodes ago, but we were pleasantly surprised that we scored second in the country.
That is so cool. And a special shout out to all the staff here behind the camera and in front to make this whole thing possible. But last week we met Chloe, who is now covering the College of Business. But this week we're going to go back over to the College of Arts and Sciences with Elisa, who's here to talk about the different programs that are offered. Elisa.
Are you interested in science, communication, or humanities? I'm Elisa, your COAS reporter, and I'll help you pick out your unique major and minor at the College of Arts and Sciences. Don't forget, if you're passionate about all things space, consider majoring in astronomy and astrophysics, or space physics. Are they different, you may ask? Well, space physics is more focused on the dynamics of flight, while astrophysics is the study of space and celestial objects. Are these majors a lot of work? Yes, definitely. But if you see yourself working with telescopes, software engineering, math, physics, and astronomy, these majors are stellar options. Do you absolutely love physics and engineering? The cool thing is that you don't have to choose one or the other if you decide to major in engineering physics. Are you an avid reader or an aspiring writer? Then majoring in communication is a great idea for you. Would you like to be on TV and talk about the weather? If you love broadcast meteorology, you should definitely do the meteorology track. Would you like to learn more about everything? Then our interdisciplinary studies major is for you. Are you passionate about statistics and numbers? Computational math will be a great choice. Interested in global conflict or homeland security? We have two amazing majors just for you: global conflict studies and homeland security. Fascinated by the human mind? Then a major in human factors will help you learn about how humans interact with each other. Another excellent choice is aerospace physiology, especially if you see yourself working in the field of medicine or if you love chemistry. Next time I see you, we'll be talking more about the accelerated master's programs next time. And now, Drew, Tucker, back to you.
Thank you, Elisa. It's nice to hear about the variety of programs offered in the COAS, especially since I have so many classes
Yeah,
there.
you're always telling me about all your math classes over in that building.
Oh, the joyful life of being an engineering major.
Why don't we move over to the weather and see what this next exam-packed week is going to look like. Jacob.
Thank you, Tucker and Drew, and very happy Monday, Eagles, as always. After a very hot and muggy Saturday and a nicer Sunday, we're going to continue that trend as we move into Monday. 80 degrees is what we're sitting at in Daytona Beach right now, with a little bit of cloud cover that's keeping us a little bit cooler on our Monday afternoon. This sea breeze is another thing that's going to feel nice today. More typical of summertime, where we've been seeing this sea breeze in the afternoons recently with this muggy weather, and that helps keep our afternoon temperatures just a little bit nicer. This dew point is also another thing that we usually see in the summer, is that dew point in the 70s. We're approaching that, and that's giving us a little bit of a feels like temperature, so we're feeling like 82 degrees on this Monday. Usually for this time of year, temperatures are in the upper 70s, 78. We are not going to be approaching any of these records this week, the record 90 for 1974. However, we are going to be above that average high for most of the week. Same with this low. 58 is our average low. We're going to be more in the mid-60s, and we'll see that in our 7-day forecast in just a few minutes. Across the country, 35 degrees in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, also over in Salt Lake City. Down here in Florida, 73 in Daytona Beach, 85 in Miami, and the winter over here in Austin at 90 degrees. Throughout the week this week, you'll notice that this polar air mass from the north is going to be encroaching in the interior parts of the country, and that's going to continue as we move towards our weekend. This polar air mass is going to move down in the form of a cold front. More locally here across the state of Florida, Wednesday afternoon, 79 degrees in Daytona Beach, and the winter down here, Winter Haven, is not feeling like winter today. 94 degrees is very hot for this time of year. 92 degrees in Orlando on Wednesday. You'll notice this trend continues throughout the week. Our temperatures on the coastal areas are going to be much more temperate, and our temperatures in the interior parts of the state much more warm. On the day on Friday, 77 degrees in Daytona Beach, 86 in DeLand, 89 in Orlando. Once again, Winter Haven is winning at 91 degrees. Futurecast shows this cold front moving its way through the state of Florida on the day on Saturday. That's going to increase our chance for precipitation and also increase our cloud cover. Not something that's going to be too big of a concern as far as precipitation goes, but just something to keep your eyes peeled for. Tuesday, 84 degrees, as well as Wednesday and Thursday, 83. A little bit of relief on Friday with a high of only 80 and some cloud cover, but that cold front tries to make its way through on the weekend. Not really going to impact our temperatures too much, as you'll notice, 86 degrees still on Sunday. But overall, very warm week, above average, and we're starting to kind of feel like summertime around here. Back to you, Tucker and Drew.
Thank you, Jacob. I know I'll be taking advantage. It was a bit cold for the beach during spring break, but this week I think I'll be able to squeeze in some time.
Blue and Gold Week was really hot too, and it looks like you got some sun.
Yes, I did. It was an action-filled week for sure.
That's right, especially with the Carnival, Eaglepalooza, the RSO Showcase, and even Preview Day with all the new students coming in next semester. It was definitely a busy one. But anyways, why don't we move over to Aki, who's going to be filling us back up to with everything that's happening over in the SGA. Aki.
We here at the Avion hope you had a blast at Blue and Gold Week last week. But while you may know us now for this broadcast, it's not the only thing we do. Here are a few things you should know about the Avion. The Avion is the oldest of the 4 SGA divisions, getting its start way back in the dark ages of 1969. Back then, our division was mostly focused on bringing the news to the general public of Embry-Riddle through its newspaper publications. But now we bring the news to you with a magazine and this very broadcast. The Avion is also known for being the starting publication of Clyde Morris, aviation's only aunt. You might see Clyde's return to his alma mater in an upcoming issue this semester. We're always looking for new content to put in our magazine, from photography to writing articles to page designs. If that sounds like you can join us on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. in the Chamber, located on the 2nd floor of the Student Union. We hope to see you there.
Thanks, Aki. Continuing on our interview series, today we're joined by someone you've probably seen around campus quite a bit, either over at the ICI as a cheerleader or around the College of Engineering, where he completed his bachelor's in mechanical engineering, or the COB as he pursues his MBA, but most notably serving as the SGA treasurer. Welcome, Harley.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Well, awesome. First off, tell me a little bit more about your role as SGA treasurer and what this treasury does.
So my role as SGA treasurer is to, I'm responsible for the effective management, distribution, and allocation of the entire SGA fund and budget itself. So the Student Treasury Board is basically the decision makers that help me with that decision as well. So anytime there's conversations, votes, elections, or whatever it needs to be about managing and making decisions and calls on any sorts of finances, they are the ones who ultimately vote and pass that decision along. I'm simply just a guide to help them facilitate any sort of information that they need and present them with all the cases.
Oh, that's awesome. But so speaking of that, what should RSOs be expecting like for the rest of this semester and even going into the summer and next fall?
So what they should expect this semester is basically just a clean closeout of everything that's going on. That's wrapping up all of the initiatives, the reallocations, the deadlines that we have, getting the payment requests in on time and making sure that they are effectively all wrapped up by the end of this semester. And so something that a lot of people don't communicate or discuss is the SGA treasurer role actually does a lot outside of these semesters themselves. So when I got elected into the position last spring, I had a month and a half's work like on my desk ready to go. It was a nightmare. I walked in the office and they were literally like paper stacked this high and it was like all around the desk and they were like, okay, this is all your problem now. You know, just figure it out. And so there was that, and it literally took me a month and a half to get all of that stuff done and actually see the desk for the very first time. And it was something that I would never want to replicate again. And so coming into the fall semester, I made sure to digitize everything that could possibly be digitized so that we didn't have all this paper everywhere. And that helped speed up the system as well, because it wasn't just look through all of these different pages of stuff. I could actually just look online and make sure that everything's filed away that way. But even in the fall semester, you know, stuff backed up as well. And so I still had to work, despite a lot of the, me just staying on top of it and learning through SGA treasurer role. I still had to work over the break, literally all the way up until, I want to say, about January 5th. So I only had about a week's time of just doing absolutely nothing before spring semester started. This semester, we've actually stayed on track a lot. So I have been very preemptive in getting the first half of the semester's payment request done. And so we've already spent over half of the entire SGA budget for RSOs themselves, just RSOs, not the entire SGA budget. Divisions are moving at their own rates themselves. But for RSOs, they've already, like I said, been reimbursed over half of that money. And so I would like for that to just wrap up to the end of the semester very cleanly as possible. So when classes end and finals begin, all of the reimbursements and everything is already laid out and taken care of so that people don't have to question, is my money going to come back and worry about all that stuff where they're busy trying to study for finals and all that. So there's all of that going in that I want to do. And then moving forward, there's going to be a brand new financial system put in. And so this is what the board and I have been working on. It's a 5-month project as of right now. And so what it's going to do is basically change how the RSOs are financially evaluated for their budgets, increases, decreases, where they stand. And so the reason we're changing this is because right now that system is basically use it or lose it. What that means is that RSOs are basically, you spend all your budget right now or you don't and you get cut. And so it takes a very long time to build up the budget over semesters, over years, over numerous officer changes. And so that becomes a very difficult piece of information to handle and then a task to get through all the years, especially if you have a new treasurer every single year. Having them caught up to speed on all the education finances and stuff is challenging. And while the board and I have done our best to increase those education efforts and make sure that it's streamlined, very clear, and very easy for anyone to jump in that position, it still takes a learning curve. And we'd like to improve that kind of improvement from, or I guess that change from the top down so that organizations don't have to re-educate someone and like aggressively fight to maintain their budget. Instead, now you will be evaluated on the qualifications of your organization that are more than just financial history. That means your membership. That means how many opportunities you have off campus, competitions, conferences, and then some of the other things would be like SG involvement, on-campus involvement, and just what your financial levels are. If you have $7,000, $10,000 in the bank account reserve, that you are able to afford some of the biggest budgets we have. Obviously, everything else for your organization and your actual operating expense would have to be up to par with all those other qualifications, but you would be able to get, or at least be eligible for, the maximum amount of budget based on what your finances are.
Awesome. You sound like you have a busy next couple of weeks and the rest of the semester. But before you go, what's one piece of advice that you would give to the student body?
So one piece of advice I'd give to the entire student body is remain diligent. Okay, whether you are just a student focusing on academics, or you're in leadership positions, you run organizations, you are in sports, whatever it may be, this is about the time that people start to get burned out or lose sight of that discipline, that goal that they had at the beginning of the semester. I just want everybody to try to remind themselves, reevaluate, what did I set at the beginning of the semester? What were those goals I had when I first got into my position elected? Like, what did you guarantee? What were those kinds of promises you made to yourself and to any other organization that you were in? And evaluate how close are you to achieving those goals, and will they be done by the end of the semester? Which I hope for everybody's sake that those goals you have academically, organizationally are done. And from there, then say, okay, am I on track to reach those goals, or do I have to do a little more restructuring, reevaluating to make sure that I can accomplish those goals and make sure that they're done by the end of the spring semester?
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me, Harley.
Of course.
Awesome.
A few weeks ago, we heard from Owen, but now we'll be hearing from Kyle to get us back to speed. Kyle?
What's up, sports fans? Welcome back to our regular sports broadcast. I'm Kyle Navarro, your chief sports reporter, here to give you your sports update for this week. This upcoming Friday, April 7th, the men's baseball team is taking on Nova Southeastern University here on campus on a doubleheader at 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. Something special about the 4 p.m. game, though, it is actually a faculty and staff appreciation game. So come on out, show your love to not only your Eagle athletes, but also your faculty and staff here on campus. Also happening on April 7th and Saturday, April 8th, is the Southern Florida Invitational for track and field happening in Tampa. This is the last invitational track meet before the Peach Conference Championships happening in a few weeks. So stay tuned to see how our track athletes stack up against all the rest before the conference championships take place. That's all I got. It's a quick update this week, Eagles, but stay tuned next week as my colleague Owen takes over. Have a good rest of your day, guys.
Thanks, Kyle. I know I've been watching NASCAR more frequently, and this week it's Bristol, a dirt track. I'm so excited.
How do you mean that you watch them?
Well, I only learned about this recently, but Riddle has free cable. All you do is you plug in, and you get a large variety of channels.
That's actually a really nice perk, and I've been here for 3 years and never knew about that. But anyways, I'm Andrew Harker.
And my name is Tucker Letton, and we hope you have a good week.
And just remember, the SGA elections open this week, so remember to vote.